Hi everybody, welcome to my pickups video. Usually try to do these once a week. I've been finding a lot of movies for $1 a piece lately. I'm running out of room. I'm gonna have to do something to organize my movies. My boxes and tubs are overflowing. I need to get some sort of display for them out here in my garage, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. A couple of games to start off with, mostly movies once again. I did do a little trade with a young man from work. Like, he's a young kid, probably maybe 20 at the most. Found out he's a gamer and a collector, and he's big into GameCube right now. So I traded him some old GameCube games and a PlayStation game for some Xbox One games. Apparently, he has the Series S that doesn't play the disc, so he wanted to trade off some of these old Xbox One games that he can't play on his Series S. But I'm glad I did the trade because I got 2 Resident Evil games. One of them is Resident Evil 2 Remake. Excellent game. One of the few games I played a lot during this generation. I think I probably beat it a couple times. Kind of difficult though. Nice challenge. Very nostalgic, nostalgic. Kind of felt like a flashback, like I was playing Resident Evil 2, the original, a couple times. It's just so similar, the layout of the levels, but it's so fresh and new also. It's the over-the-shoulder, typical control of modern games. So I got Resident Evil here. Resident Evil 2 Remake, excellent stuff. And then the other one, this is the only copy of Resident Evil 4 I didn't have. So I'm glad to have this in my collection. I played through every version of Resident Evil 4 on every console. Even the iPod version. So this is the only one I didn't play. I've been playing through it a lot. I've been playing it the last couple of nights. And it's just as good as I remember. It's my favorite game of all time, but I was thinking maybe I'm just biased towards it, or maybe there's better stuff out there. So I started playing. It's been a while. I used to play this game like over and over and over and over the past 15 years, maybe 10 years ago or so. But I haven't played it in a while. Maybe I thought maybe it wouldn't hold up as I remember, but no, it's still my favorite game. It's got a lot of challenge. The pacing of the game is so good. Yeah, there's a remake coming out. And actually, the remake, I was kind of not looking forward to that. I was hoping they were not going to remake this because it's perfect as is. But from what I've seen of the new remake, it looks really good. Like everything looks like it's laid out the same way as this. I'm hoping it has the same bosses, and I'm hoping it's a. I don't think I'll get it, but I'm hoping I get an option to play tank control that I like from this game. But I doubt it'll be there. But all other games have that new modern control, so I guess it'll be fine. But I just became so accustomed to this style of control. It feels so good and satisfying to run around and get the guys in a group and hit them with a shotgun and then go knife them on the ground or snipe them from the distance. All the weapons are so unique and so efficient at whatever type of scenario you're going for. Every situation. Yeah, I've been playing this. It's as good as ever. People don't like the parts with Ashley, but actually I think those are the scariest parts of the game. And I really enjoy the parts with Ashley. Like I get like my adrenaline up. The water hall where she's trying to turn the cranks to raise the platforms that go over the water. Like that's an intense part right there. I think the 2 hardest parts of the game were with Ashley. I think it's that water hall for me, and then the room at the end with a big wrecking ball where Ashley's there. So you gotta like cover her and cover your own behind. And then the room is full of monsters, and they just keep dropping in. Anyway, great game. Still my favorite game of all time. Okay, now on to the movies. But first, at Rasputin's, I picked up a CD. I usually don't pick up CDs, and I already had this one, but for $2, I had to get Live and Let Die, the soundtrack. the CD player in my truck broke. Otherwise, I'd be listening to this every day. I love the kind of the funky themes of this movie from 1973. John Barry doesn't do this, surprisingly. It's George Martin, who was aligned with the Beatles. Paul McCartney and the Wings did the song for this, Live and Let Die, everyone knows. Great song. A lot of great tracks in this, like funky... there's like a funky version of the James Bond song, or the James Bond theme. A really cool soundtrack. I love this movie and the soundtrack. So I got that. Okay, my wife said I could get this for Father's Day. I don't like spending that much money on DVDs, but this is one I had to have in my collection, and it was $15. I can't find it anywhere. I guess I could order it online, but it was just so convenient right there. Orca, the killer whale. Really, really quality Jaws exploitation, I guess you would call it. One of those movies that came out after the wake of Jaws' big explosion with the oxygen tank. A bunch of other creature features rose up from that. This one's a lot like Jaws in many ways, also sort of like Moby Dick. It's kind of a little bit like a retelling of Moby Dick. It's a revenge story, but not on the humans' part, the whales' part. The fishermen are out, or they're whalers or fishermen, but they kill this mama whale who's pregnant with a baby whale. And I don't remember if they accidentally kill it or they do it on purpose, the captain and the crew. But then the dad whale sees all this and he takes revenge on this city. And this whale takes out more stuff than Jaws from the Jaws Unleashed video game. Like, it's taking out like it's smashing piers that are smashing factories and blowing stuff up and killing people and eating people. It kind of turns into an ominous, like, usually when you see a killer whale fin, you don't get scared, but this sort of like a shark fin, like when you see this fin coming, someone's gonna get smashed. And then it even has like a harpoon. You can't see on the cover here, but it has a little notch taken out of it. Like, they try to shoot it with a harpoon, but they just barely nicked it. Just barely grazed it, and so it has like a little ominous like nick taken out of the back of its fin. Kind of makes it even more ominous. But the captain, I think it's, what's his name, Richard Harris. He plays a good part. This is like a high quality. It's not really cheap and corny at all. It's kind of a serious movie. Richard Harris plays a captain or a fisherman, and he's out to kill this whale because the whale's been terrorizing him and killing his family members. He sort of started it, but it's kind of like a hunt on the high seas, like Jaws 1 was towards the end. They go hunting for this shark. Bo Derek has a little part in it. There was a fight between a killer whale and a great white shark at the beginning of this. When I first saw it, the beginning of it seemed like a Jaws movie because there's a shark attacking these divers, but then the whale comes and the whale smashes the shark. But a lot of cool effects, like stuff blowing up, and I don't know if they had a trained whale or a fake whale, but at one point the whale's on like an iceberg or a plate of ice, and it's like pushing it down. The guy's up on the other end like a seesaw. Like, it has a lot of good effects, I thought, from last time I've seen it. Ennio music composed by Ennio Morricone, that does like the spaghetti westerns, has a good soundtrack. And who is the director of this? Michael Anderson. I'm not sure if I can place him right now, but definitely good movie. Recommend it. Another one I spent $4 on. This is one from my past champion with Ken Shamrock and Danny Trejo and Louis Mandylor. Typical like 90s underground fight movie, really cool. I was all hyped about this because Ken Shamrock was my favorite fighter at the time. I actually went and practiced at the Lion's Den in Lodi, California. I took like their class. I got to wrestle around with all of those big UFC fighters at the time and learn moves from them. And it was dirt cheap and no one went there. It wasn't as big like it is now. But But Ken Shamrock was there, and I remember some of the guys are mentioning, "Oh, Ken's starring in this new movie called Champion." I go, "Oh, I got to see that," and it popped up at the video store. I rented it. Typical run of the mill, like 90s underground fight movies that I like. But I never knew there was a DVD release. Yeah, so I got Champions now. Yeah, I remember there was a lot of fighting, and I think there was like even some shooty action at the end, like there was like a shootout at the end. But it's been a while since I've seen that, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, then I'll get on to some 50 Cent VHS tapes I found. I just talked about this one a while back. I don't remember if I had it or not. Above the Law, Seagal's first big movie. Director Andrew Davis of Code of Silence, the Chuck Norris movie. Yeah, Seagal was a big deal back then. I really prefer Van Damme to Seagal. Probably my top 7 Van Damme movies are over my favorite Seagal movie, but still, like these were good action movies. It's kind of cool to see him. Like, he never was in trouble. Like, he never got a scratch on him. He always used that Aikido and smash people up and break their arms and whatever. Sort of like Charles Bronson, but he would do it with his hands instead of a gun or whatever. Really cool movie though. Oh, and then I didn't have this on any. I didn't have the DVD of this or anything. It's hard to find. Rapid Fire. I think it's one of Brandon Lee's biggest movies. Cool, typical. It's pretty high budget, the 90s action movie. Cool leading guy. Left before his time, just like his dad. Never was the big star that his dad was, but he had some pretty cool roles. Yeah, this was a good quality. I think this one actually came out at the show. Who else is in here? Powers Booth, Nick Mancuso. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that one. Okay, I had to get this one of my favorite Stallone movies, The Specialist, with Stallone, James Woods, Sharon Stone, Rod Steiger, Eric Roberts. Has a good cast. Cool action. He's a bomb explosive specialist, and James Woods is his old partner that double-crossed him, and now he's like a crooked government agent. James Woods, a cool bad guy in this. Another reason I like this, John Barry does a score. John Barry had stopped doing the James Bond movies by this point, but this sounds more like a James Bond movie score than any of the movies after he left. Like, this is a cool, really high orchestrated, high jazz score for an action movie. I love the score in this. I actually listen to it all the time on Spotify. And then I got old Walter Hill's another 48 Hours. I don't have the first one, but I thought that was a nice pickup with Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte. Sort of a buddy cop movie. Actually, I don't know I don't think I've ever seen the second one. Oh well. Okay, now on to the dollar movies. Didn't find anything at the dollar store. I'm about to give up on the dollar store. I don't even see any reason to go there with my big selection I have at either FYE. FYE has a lot of stuff for $2 for $1, and Rasputin's just has rows and rows of movies for $1 a piece. First one, The Most Dangerous Game. I did not have this. The old film adaptation of the short story. I was just talking about this in my last video with Ice-T's Surviving the Game. Yeah, Game Hunter, Robert Rainsford, that's the guy from the book. The Count, what's his name? I forget what the Count's name is. This one has a girl in the mix, like a love interest that wasn't in the novel. But I remember this being a cool movie. Oh, I picked this one up. I haven't seen it. I think about giving it to D's Nuts, that guy. If you haven't checked him out, his name is D's Nuts or something. But but I know he likes like the road horror movies or the rest stop type horror movies and Jeepers Creepers and stuff like that. But I saw this movie Dark Hall with a demon on top of a big rig. I don't know if that's like a Kenworth or a Peterbilt. I love the style of the trucks, like from like the 50s to the 80s, or the big rigs. But I don't really know much about this. A cryptic prophecy divides a team of secret guardians as they attempt to transport a deadly creature. Its half-human sister in an 18-wheeler truck to a secure location. Oh, that kind of sounds like a monster version of Sorcerer with the nitroglycerin. Tom Sizemore's in it, and who else? Rick Evanello, Evelina Marie. So that looks interesting. I was going to give that to that guy, D's Nuts, or whatever his name is. Great guy. Oh, and then speaking of D's Nuts, he was talking about, I hadn't seen this one. I'm a big fan of Roy Scheider. Speaking of the Sorcerer, Blue Thunder. I remember he sort of did a little review on that one in the past. I'm a fan of Roy Scheider, but I've never seen this. Of course, Jaws 2, the 7 Ups, French Connection, Sorcerer. I like all those movies, but I've never seen Blue Thunder. Directed by John Badham. And it looks like it has Daniel Stern in it. And it's and then, not to leave out Black Thunder, I found Black Thunder with Michael Dudikoff and Richard Norton. One of the few Richard Norton movies I haven't seen. So I think if he's a bad guy or not in here, I don't know. I like anything with Richard Norton in it. I haven't seen that one yet. Eddie Murphy 4-pack. I like a couple of these movies. I like, of course, everyone likes Coming to America. I like Boomerang also. I've never seen Harlem Nights with, I like Richard Pryor, those in it. So I got to watch that one. I haven't seen Norbit. That's kind of a newer like comedy one, like after the Nutty Professor, I think. Anyway, got that good one. Oh, and I had to get this one. It was one of the only Arnold movies I didn't have. So for $1, Schwarzenegger and Belushi, Red Heat, sort of a buddy cop movie from Walter Hill, one of my favorite directors that did The Warriors, Streets of Fire, and a really good Charles Bronson movie called Hard Times from 1975. Yeah, so I had to get this because, of course, Arnold, and then Walter Hill, the director, I like. And it's been a while since I've seen this. I remember it's a cool, solid 80s action. I don't know if it holds up with Arnold's other movies, but I got to give it another watch. He plays a Russian in this. So I think he does a Russian accent instead of his usual Austrian. And then the last one, I went to FYE's, and I've been wanting to get this movie, Hell Comes to Harlem, with Fred Williamson. I see it at Rasputin's, but it's $20, so I never want to spend that much. But over there at FYE's, it was $6.99, and I couldn't find Black Caesar. This is a sequel to Black Caesar, sort of like a gangster movie in Harlem. John Landis, no, what am I thinking? John Landis. Larry Cohen directed this. I think it was one of his earliest movies. Really cool gangster movie, like just kind of old school gangster. Like this guy comes up, like the cops and the mayor out to get him. He's like a gang leader, like the biggest gang leader in New York, and he's and the cops and the mayor out to get him. There's a cool scene at the opening where he gets shot or stabbed, and his whole gang like comes to rescue him, and he hijacks an ambulance, and there's a big shootout, and they go to the hospital, and they have like the doctors and everything hostage so they can patch him up, and they make a deal with the cops so no one shoots anything. So it's like a crazy scene where like the gangsters rush him to the hospital, and he gets fixed up, and they get out clean. But then he starts gaining so much power, he ends up working with the mayor, he has so much power. Like the mayor that was out to get him. Like he has so much power and control over even the mayor. And then his pops, the guy that plays his pops, Julius W. Harris. That you probably know him as Teehee from Live and Let Die. The guy with a hook hand. He plays his pops in this. And in the movie, his pop starts off just like a nice old guy that doesn't like to kill anyone, and then to look out for his son when his son was in need, like he stepped up and became like a gang leader, and he like turned into a real badass, he became like really ruthless badass, and he started wearing like a pimp coat, and he totally changed. I like that actor Julius Harris. Oh, and then Gloria Hendry plays his ex-wife. She was also in Live and Let Die. Yeah, cool. Fred Williamson does a lot of good action. Like this was like when he was really young, like probably closer to his football career. So he's always running. Like there's a cool scene at an airport where he's chasing this guy down in the airport, and they have a big fight in the airport. They're fighting in the luggage claim, like the conveyors. They're fighting on that and knocking stuff around, and it's crazy fight in this. I wish I had Black Caesar, the original one, but that'll do for now. Okay, so that's it for this week. I haven't started my top 10 video games yet. On the lookout for maybe some co-hosts to do each generation. I already got a volunteer for the 6th generation, or 5th. Yeah, the PlayStation Saturn generation. I have a volunteer for that. But I'll probably do 8-bit, 16-bit, PlayStation 2. I might think about doing like with a co-host, like have someone else do their top 10 too. But so if anyone is interested in that, hit me up. I've never done anything like on Zoom or Streamlabs or Skype. I could probably just have the discussion and record it and then edit it. But anyway. So got some cool movies this week, and I'll talk to you next week. Have a good week. Stay cool, guys. It's hot out here in California.